So, right now we will have a very special and exclusive content for you about the brand new product that we have just announced last week on Positive Security Day in Russia. And this is our automatic penetration testing tool. The name is DEPHAZE, and basically it's about control and safe auto pen test. So what's up with the pen testing now? There are a few problems. First of all, like the manual pen test is usually conducted just once or maximum twice per year, right? So for the rest of the time, you do not assess the security of your infrastructure, right? Another thing that as a result of pen test, you usually get just one penetration vectors, right? So you still have some blind spots. You don't know all the vulnerabilities and all the other ways to penetrate your network, right? And also we need to mention that our red teaming has 100% success rate when we talk about internal penetration testing, right? Another thing, based on our analytics from the previous year, that in 63% of organization, even a low-skill attacker can penetrate the network, right? And the same applies for insiders. Again, even a low-skilled one will be able to take control over your infrastructure, right? So the guy from our red team decided, okay, with all these problems and all our knowledge on how to do the penetration testing, why not try to automate it? Let's try to make a tool that will basically act as a red teamer. And we did it, right? So what it does, we map it to the breach and attack simulation class of solutions, but in fact, it's even more, right? We'll tell that it's smart. Probably you know about Pantera, Simulate, etc., but the limitation of these tools is they don't actually develop the attack. So you choose specific simulation, and that's it, right? It doesn't try to reach the target system that you have defined, and we do, right? Second important thing about the product is we take care about the safety, right? So we don't want our tool to break your infrastructure, right? So for that reason, you can configure the system to ask for approval for every next step. So for example, on the first step, we did network discovery, and we have chosen the host that we will try to exploit the vulnerabilities, right? In this case, before doing that, we will send you notification and a request to approve this activity, right? And you can configure it in a very granular way. So for every action, we will ask you for basically the approval or the confirmation, right? As I mentioned, it's not a bust tool because what it does, it makes automatic decision about the next steps, right? You just define the target system, connect the tool to your internal infrastructure, and that's it, right? We do also embedded all the classical hacker tools. I mean, Metasploits, Mimikatz, you know these names, right? So we do actually use the same tools that the real hacker use in their attacks, right? And of course, during the penetration testing, right? And it doesn't require installation of any agents on a host within your infrastructure. So basically, the way it works, you just take a laptop, connect it to any socket within your office in a meeting, reception, whatever, or to the Wi-Fi, and click Start button, right? And that's it. And then we basically do the discovery, exploit vulnerabilities, do the privilege lateral movement, etc., etc., etc. Right? What we do also have, we do have LLM, I mean AI, generative models, and I will talk about how we use it a bit later. And we do the hash cracking, right? So ideally, the laptop should be equipped with a GPU to do the hash cracking very quick. Okay, let's move on. So 3 main pillars of the product, right? We want to simulate the hacker activity as close as possible to the actual behavior of the hacker, right? Including, as I mentioned, all the tools that are actually being used and all the techniques. Second pillar is safety. As I mentioned, we don't want our tool to basically destruct your infrastructure, right? So it asks for approval for every step. And, the third pillar is about expertise that we have, right? We want to put all the expertise on the pen testing that we have in the product. So we want the product to always reach its goals, right? The product is very easy to start. So as I mentioned, you just take a laptop, connect it to a network, click Start, and that's it. Just wait for results. Sorry, the screenshots are in Russia, but again, this is a very new product. So we don't have English translation yet. About safety, okay, as I mentioned, action approval, right? And we don't just tell you, okay, I want to try to, like, I don't know, exploit this vulnerability on this host. No, we give you a clear explanation of what the impact can be, right? So you can make the right decision. The tool allows you to apply different exclusion. For example, we don't want you to try to penetrate this subnet, right? Or you can define a scope. Of course, we provide the full logging. So after the the test is completed, you will see the entire log action, right? And we will even have the replay button, right? So if you fix some vulnerability, then you can run the same test once again by just clicking replay button, right? We will have attack presets where you can like fine tune what is allowed and what's not, right? The tool will also remove everything after itself. I mean, all the tools that have been installed, like all the accounts that been like escalated, etc. Everything will be removed, and we will have a pen test schedule. For example, you don't want the tool to run during the weekend, right? And yeah, you can configure it. The most interesting part, where is MI? Oh, sorry. yeah, how do we use ML? We use it for three things. I would say the most interesting one is about exploring the internal portals. So, like the hackers spend a lot of time exploring the portals, internal wikis, etc., in order to get information about the infrastructure and credentials. So, how we do it? We just send a document to LLM model and ask to basically find all the credentials and all the interesting information that we may be interested in, right? And this is the example. Sorry again, guys, it's in Russian, but as I mentioned, the product was just announced last week. But this is this part. Yeah. Another thing where we use machine learning is password generation. Because, you know, for every organization, it's common to people to use like the name of the company as a password, right? You can ask LLM to generate, I don't know, 100 password for this company. So usually people also tend to use the date or at least the year, right? So we provide this context and then we get the list of the passwords. Yeah, like this one. The task was like generate 10 passwords from 8 to 12 characters that may be used in Russian company called Gazprom, taking into account that currently is the 1st of October of 2024, right? And the third thing that we use LLM for basically prioritization. Imagine we've done a network discovery. We've got, I don't know, 10 hosts in the subnet. So we need to choose which one we will try to penetrate first, right? And again, we use LLM for that. So we train it in a way that we gave the same question to the hacker. And we use their answer to basically prepare a training data set for the model. Like based on the test, it performs very well. As I mentioned, the product is very new. I mean, we just announced it last week. The commercial release is scheduled for February next year. So we will have more details closer to the like official launch. And talking about the roadmap, so the first goal is to get the critical mass of the expertise to allow the product to reach its goals, right? To get the brilliant results, and brilliant results in this case is to basically always penetrate your network. And the second goal is, again, the safety, right? We don't want to ruin your infrastructure with our product, so this is our second goal. Right, so for the first release, we will have basically full kill chain attack visualization, I mean, right? We will add exclusion and attack targets. So for example, you can define, okay, I want you to take control over the domain controller, and that's it, right? Search for the data useful for developing an attack. This is what I just explained about the using of the LLM, right, on internal web resources. Smart data generation, again, the same thing about LLM. And the last one is also that I have just explained how to choose like the next steps or the next host to be like attacked. Like techniques and attacks that we will cover in the first release, we first focus on the on-premises infrastructures based on the Active Directory, right? So we will do like network infrastructure reconnaissance. We will use trending attacks on Active Directory. We will like increase the number of supported protocols, services, systems, etc. We will use again trending attacks for privilege escalation, and by trending I mean the attacks that are happening right here, right now, using the latest exploits, right? We will cover Linux as well, but in the first release, the main focus will be on Windows, but Linux will be also there. Yeah, and we will implement like credential extraction on Windows on Linux. So, for example, we can zap LSAS, and then we can use like our cracking of the hashes to basically extract the credentials. So basically, that's it. So what's next? Stay tuned. And in the meantime, you can try of ours, which is called PT Knocking, which is the tool that allows you to assess your email security solutions. That's it. Thank you for attention. If any question, guys, just let me know.